Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Hello to all. Wishing you all a happy Ganesh Chaturthi. I am Damodar. With me, my colleague, my friend Anjan, joining from Silicon Valley, California. Thank you, Anjan, for joining in.
Thank you, Damodar, for having me.
Thank you. Today is a auspicious day, Ganesha Chaturthi. So we plan to talk about Lord Ganesha and corporate and startup culture. So in the spirit of Lord Ganesh, let's embrace adaptability, remove obstacles with determination, and foster a workplace culture that celebrates diversity, knowledge, and ethical leadership in both in corporate giants as well as startup like Data Safeguard INC Incorporation, right? Anjan, any opening remark?
Um, it is a great day, and the topic that you have chosen here, and what you, it'll be a continuation of that. So, Lord Ganesh is is remembered in every occasion as a symbol because knowledge. So when we are in a knowledge economy, and it becomes uh, more relevant. Lord Ganesha becomes more relevant as the Lord of Knowledge, because there is a difference between knowledge and understanding. So today's topics that we are going to discuss, I am excited that it 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 helps to spread our knowledge, and hopefully the audience is going to join us in creation of that spirit that takes us further from today's Ganesh Chaturthi to future.
Great. Thank you, Anjan. So let me start talking about one quality of Lord Ganesha. So the significance of Lord Ganesha in the context of culture, corporate and startup culture can be viewed as a source of inspiration and guidance. We all know about it. So let me tell my insights on how Lord Ganesh attributes can influence this environment. So let me talk about first adaptability. If you see, Lord Ganesh's ability to adapt to different situations, as symbolized by his elephant head, teaches us the importance of flexibility in business, corporate, and startup cultures that can pivot and adjust to changing market conditions are more likely to thrive. What do you say, Anjan, about it?
Yeah, adaptability is something that we need to learn, right? So to actually adapt, we need to appreciate the knowledge, and from the knowledge we need to understand. So knowledge, basically information, knowledge, and understanding of it and applying. That's basically adaptability in terms of, excuse me. So adaptability. So what happens is, in the startup world, it becomes super fast pace of life, and hence what we have to do is we have to adapt things pretty fast. That times what happens is, there are elements like obstacle is coming up. So what happens is, when you are changing so fast, our brain has to adapt. We need to understand, and hence Lord Ganesha's pursue, the knowledge comes as a guide. So now when it comes to corporate world, what happens is, the the pace in which startup world moves and the pace in which corporate world moves, it is little different. So in case of corporate world, things becomes little slow,
Mhm.
and because things become slow, people don't change,
Yeah,
cultures becomes rigid.
agree.
So that is where Lord Ganesha's adaptability, the whoever is in charge of, you know leading certain transformation and transition programs. That's where change and adaptability comes into the picture. We have a lot of lessons we can take from Lord Ganesha's the
Absolutely.
attributes that you discussed. That's my
L-
point of view on
let me
adaptability.
add. Let me add. You
Sure.
are also from a corporate world. I also recently joined here from a corporate world. Well said. I mean, uh, there are standard operating procedure there. Just you need to follow and get things done. Right. In startup world, you have to change it. Right. That adaptability, I mean, suddenly I can see change on me, and yeah, and it's a good change, it's a positive change, right? So that adaptability, like Lord Ganesha has really taught us to change it instantly. Let's say you are a one zone to another zone you are entering, so suddenly you have to change it, right?
Yeah.
Well said. So I want to touch upon another quality that is called persistence. If you see Lord Ganesha's determination to win the race against his brother Kartikeyan, it's a lesson in persistence. In the business world, determination and perseverance are the essential qualities for overcoming challenges and achieving long-term success. And I can see that, corporate versus startup. Anything you want to add, Anjan?
Persistent comes in, and you brought in Lord Kartikeya and Ganesha, that story. So there is another symbolic fight which happens where
Yeah,
Lord Kartikeya sat on the peacock and moved around the world. But
yeah,
what Lord Ganesha did is he just found out the best path around his parents, and that's it. Okay, this is how I moved around the world. So persistence combined with wisdom, the wisdom in the moment, in the context, is something that goes with the adaptability and persistence, like in the theme that we are discussing. So uh, like the spirit from all the stories that we have heard from Lord Ganesha, like uh, we need to continue, we need to persist,
absolutely.
and we need to persist in the context. That's a continuation from adaptability and persistence. That's what I think.
Great,
That's how.
great point, Anjan. Third point coming to my mind is problem solving. If you see Ganesha's role as the remover of obstacles, encourages us to find solutions to problems creatively. Both corporate and startup culture that encourage innovative problem solving can drive growth and innovation. If you see where normally we drive innovation growth more in startup, right? And I can see the change in me. I can see the change in you. Can you add few more points on problem solving?
Yeah. So what happens is that's a hallmark of leadership that we learn from Lord Ganesha here. So team, everyone wants to perform their best. Now the point is, when we bring in set of processes, when we bring in set of innovations to make. Now how are we removing, how are we as a leaders removing the obstacles for the teams to come and perform their best? That is where a hallmark of leadership that we would learn from Lord Ganesha. And Lord Ganesha is the, we say Vignanas, or
Yeah,
Vignaras, right? So he removes all the obstacles. What he does is he does it via the change and the persistence. And ekadantaya, that means like single-minded pursuit, right? With
yeah,
single-minded pursuit, we will remove the obstacles from the team, be it startup or be it culture.
corporate.
So
Yeah,
a hallmark of leadership is, am I removing the obstacles that my team is facing? In the agile world,
yeah,
we call it, do you have any blockers, so that I can come and remove it, right?
absolutely.
That's an application. That's what I think. Practical.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, there shouldn't be any roadblock, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Or a gatekeeper. Super. Fourth point coming into my mind, inclusivity. We will talk about inclusion, diversity, right, in our both the world, both corporate and startup world. So if I put it in Ganesha's wide popularity, transcends cultural and religious boundaries. In business, fostering an inclusive culture that embraces diversity can lead to more creative and dynamic team. What do you say about it?
Um, Inclusivity is an element of success, and the so from the point of knowledge, adaptability, removing obstacles, I would say leaders should remove obstacles for inclusion. We should include, like, the ideas should be open. The team should be able to come and do their best. And
Yeah,
by inclusion, we are adding value at every step to the products that you are building. And inclusion as a part of culture would bring innovation in scales. In contrast to the walled gardens, which I'll keep it positive. Like, inclusion is not tokenism. Inclusion is an element of culture that will bring success both in corporate and startup world. That's my takeaway from whatever
absolutely.
lessons I take from Ganesha's day and inspiration and whatever
Absolutely.
little mantras that I study.
Thank you. Another quality of Lord Ganesha, leadership. So if you see the Lord Ganesha's position as a river deity and leader symbolizes the importance of effective leadership in both corporate as well as startup settings. Leaders, those who inspire, trust, and guide their teams with wisdom, often achieve better results. Let's say if I'm a leader, if I don't have that subject matter knowledge, I don't think I can inspire my team. I can create that trust. And I don't think I can have that openness, right? Open communicatively, right? So Lord Ganesha is actually, we worship him for wisdom, right? And he's the fast step forward, showing the path to the society, right? So leadership is one of the best quality Lord Ganesha teaches us. Please add few more points, Anjan.
Lord Ganesha symbolizes leadership. I would say Lord Ganesha symbolizes silent leadership. Any
Yeah.
work that is coming to the fore needs a lot of forward thinking, and forward thinking needs knowledge and understanding.
Mm,
Whatever is visible, there is a lot more. Like, whatever is visible is, let's say, tip of the iceberg, right?
mm,
But a lot goes into actually producing whatever
yeah.
is visible. So Lord Ganesha style, I would say, I would interpret as silent leadership, with
Yeah.
the determination, with the inclusivity, with the determination towards removing the any obstacle that team faces, and and silent and reasonably servant leadership, right? That is with knowledge at the base. Lord Ganesha has taught us to bring in the leadership qualities, which is based on knowledge, based on understanding, with single-minded persistence, ekadantaya, right? So that's how I think the leadership
Absolutely.
qualities
Absolutely.
from Lord Ganesha.
Another quality, we all know time and tide waits for none, right? So let's talk about a little bit on time management. If you see Ganesha's broken tusk used as a writing tool signifies effective time management and the importance of making the most available resources. Sometimes in corporate startup, we forget about how to use our resources, right? And timely in an effective manner. So Lord Ganesha teaches us that time management skills are crucial both for productivity, both in corporate as well as startup world. And it is more applicable in startup world where we have a time sensitive things to achieve. Anything you want to add? John?
Yeah, time. So you brought in two important point. One is uh, having time sensitivity takes us towards effectiveness, and
Yeah,
effectiveness is something that is very important in the startup world. And then you brought in the idea of resource, and I want to expand on that, because time is the most important resource
yeah,
available to us, the human being. And now, when we when we take that time management, and when we utilize time as a resource, the
mm,
next resource is going to be kind of attention, I would say, focus. Like, that's probably where you are going in that. So time as a resource and a measure of efficiency, we would learn that from Lord Ganesha.
great point. I always believe in celebrating not only success, celebrate each and every milestone. So let's see how Lord Ganesha teaches us celebrate of success. We all have a joy to celebrate Ganesha Chaturthi, which is really inspiring every individual, corporate, startup culture to acknowledge and celebrate achievements, fostering a positive and motivated workforce. People call me in my community Mr. Energy, and I love that. We have to be energetic 24 by 7. You say, hey, we have something to celebrate. That is what Lord Ganesha teaches us. Anjan.
Absolutely, absolutely. So celebration, we'll have to celebrate the moment,
Yeah,
and that is actually a realization of knowledge, which Lord Ganesha symbolizes, right? So if we understand the moment, celebration of that moment is actually the knowledge which goes with Lord Ganesha. So absolutely agreeing with you. Great. I mean, I love the elements that you're bringing in one by one, which is great. I mean, I feel great in terms of like to be a part of it. Really.
absolutely. This one is more relevant to you and others as well. We talk about ethical business practice. I'm sure I will let you discuss about the ethical AI or responsible AI. But let me put ethical conduct, in Ganesh perspective. Lord Ganesha's reputation for ethical behavior reminds all of us the significance of ethical conduct in business, both in corporate as well as startup. It is the upholding high ethical standard is essential for long-term credibility and trust among our partners, investors, and customers. Please touch upon a little bit on the ethical AI and responsible AI in your words, Anjan.
Um, yeah, so thank you for bringing in that point. So ethics would go beyond AI or anything. It would
Yeah,
stay grounded in those fundamentals, which the larger stream of ethics is being discussed. So, in the context of AI and the privacy that we are dealing with,
yeah,
um, as leaders, we take decisions that's going to impact large part of the humanities, right? In some cases, it is impacting next 40, 50, or 100 years or more,
yeah,
right? So we need to be cognizant of the fact that with artificial intelligence, the tools that you are building has an impact on people right now and has an impact of people beyond into the deep into the future.
yeah,
So ethics, personal ethics, arranged well, getting into organizational ethics, arranged well, getting into societal ethics on artificial intelligence or on data privacy or on any business part. I think we should take inspiration from
yeah,
Lord Ganesha's way, again, based in the knowledge, but applying in day to day, which generates new knowledge. So, ethical practice, I would take it in the base, in the knowledge itself, and apply it in the context of AI today, but overall technology landscape. And of course, we are in the data privacy space. So, that's a that's a great point to even think about it. Going through the laws, and we see the deep discussion and debate around it. I would say base it on the knowledge, and knowledge. Lord Ganesha is the source of
absolutely.
the.
Great. Thank you, Anjan. Another point coming to my mind, balance. How we can balance ourselves, both in professional as well as personal life. So, Lord Ganesha's, if you see the juxtaposition of Lord Ganesha's large ears, small mouth, emphasizes the importance of effective communication, listening more, listen more, and achieving a balance in leadership, right? And his wisdom and knowledge is associated with encouraging a culture of continuous learning. Knowledge sharing can lead to innovation and growth in both corporate and startup culture, right? Anything you want to add on?
I just want to add one word called harmony. And
Hmm.
harmony is the responsibility of leaders, bringing in harmony into workplaces, whether it is startup or whether it is big corporate world. Bringing in harmony in which teams function, that is the responsibility of leaders. And leaders, I mean, I take inspiration, I'm sure you take
Yeah.
inspiration from Lord
Yeah.
Ganesha. How do we bring in harmony into the context, into our current operating context? So harmony is the word, and I would take inspiration from Lord Ganesha to bring that.
Great. 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 Okay, so my last concluding thought coming to my mind, incorporating all these aspects of Lord Ganesha's symbolism and mythology into corporate and startup culture can really help create workplaces that are adaptable, ethical, inclusive, and driven by innovation and determination, ultimately leading to a greater success and harmony you talk about. Any concluding remark from you, Anjan?
Um, let's build these cultures that will drive us into future based on the knowledge that we have accumulated through the inspiration from Lord Ganesha. Today is Ganesh Chaturthi. So yes, I'm inspired by this conversation. I'm inspired to recollect and reiterate the elements of success that will build the, I would say, culture of future. So
Yeah,
in the name of Lord Ganesha.
absolutely. So thank you, audience. Thank you for listening to us. It's pleasure sharing our point of
Yes.
view. Thank you, Anjan, for joining in. And yeah, wishing you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi.
Happy
Let
Ganesh
Lord
Chaturthi.
Ganesha bless us all. Thank you. Namaskar.